Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're here for compLexity versus eUnited, map number 1, going live as we speak. And it is, of course, the beautiful Nuke. This is going to be a joy to observe. Dean, how are you doing today as we move on to map number 2? It's still early night.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, Mitch. We had a pretty good first series, of course, going all 3 maps, but Furia overall did end up taking it. And of course, heading on into the semi-finals, we will be covering compLexity eUnited. It's an exciting one on paper, and I'm looking forward to seeing what both of these teams can do. Of course, Obo, a pretty new addition to that compLexity roster. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits in, as already we do see the action kicking off. That opening frag being found in favor of the eUnited, of the compLexity side, rather, initially. But eUnited have pulled one back with Def going down. Shazam on low HP has the chance for a flank, but as I said, on low HP at 4, and he also needs to be quite quick because his teammates are already encountering some trouble down on that bomb site.
Indeed, it's not going to be an easy situation as 2 kills come in straight away for the CT side, pulling it back over into their favor. eUnited in a bit of a risky spot as they lose everybody to Obo, swinging down and finding 3, nothing but heads. And that's it, 1-0 to start us off, and a pretty decent spot now developing for compLexity as they've won out the pistol here on their CT side.
And in a pretty solid fashion indeed. I just mentioned Obo, of course, being the new addition to the roster, comes through there with a great start indeed. 3 quick headshots being found, and with that now, a force buy coming through somewhat, at least, onto 1 player pretty much only. Vanity drops over that scout towards food. Other than that, though, a single P250 being upgraded. It's not a round that they should be able to find a lot in. There's a chance for at least a bit of damage. Marky trying to make a wild play out onto that A-bomb site. Will be taken down by Obo. We do see a trade on outside, so there we go. 1 frag already being found. If even 1 more can be brought in by eUnited, it makes it a worthwhile investment, I would say. Dropping a couple players normally is the main goal. Ricky on this flank, though, should be able to put a stop to anything before it gets out of hand.
Indeed, now it's just on moves to try and get it done, and they know exactly where he is. Naded up as well. There was no way he was getting out of there alive, or with any more damage, really. As it's 2-0, compLexity don't lose too many players, at least. Just the 1 on the board. Could have looked a whole lot worse for them, but they will have to reinvest at least somewhat onto Shazam. Just having a look at the compLexity position right now. For the next round, they're looking better than they could be. But they really do need to get this under the belt, at least with a couple of SMG kills, if they want to be in with a chance of buying up, should they lose this one.
Yeah, again, that little bit of a bonus approach. Going down and straight in through Secret right now. eUnited do get a good bit of map control in their favor, and even a bit of damage being spammed through as well.
Now looking to go down towards Secret and already sitting down comfortably in that position. You've got compLexity getting a little bit aggressive, though. They want to find out where these guys are looking to take things. With, I think it's Depth there, pushing up fairly aggressive. United eventually going to be coming down Secret with their pistols, the pistol in the hands of Vanity, and everybody else are rolling with the rifles. Shazam's hiding down at the moment, peeks up just in time to do quite a bit of damage with the MP9. But ultimately, it's just not good enough. Eventually going to be eliminated and put into a man disadvantage now for the CT side. They've managed to take over an AK as well. With the current economic situation, they could consider a save. But if they find a kill within the next 10 seconds or so, especially before that bomb plant goes down, I think it's definitely going to be worth going for. Especially with Vanity lit up so low. There it is. As Def's last alive, 1 versus 3, catches off Food, planting the bomb, but not in time. He could have made the play, he could have dropped the bomb in the open and given his team a fantastic chance, but unable to land it, and so it does go 2-1. Putting a situation now on the board for eUnited that is not terrible. They got the buy up, and they should be against a fairly weakened economy from compLexity, although they do still decide to go for the force buy over on the CT side. Taking out a 5-7 on Ricky, and having Shazam on the scout. They've seen better days, but it's definitely a buy that can do a lot of damage. So you still want to remain vigilant up against it, as things could get scary if you take this round for granted.
Scout actually already doing a bit of damage as well towards Vanity, so...
And there's Marky already down. Cooper eliminated too, so a 2-man advantage to play with for compLexity. As they just gotta hold down now. No need to get too aggressive or force the issues. Just wait for your opponents to make a move and cut them down. Def is caught out a little bit towards outside. His position's kind of scaring me, as he can be taken down without the opportunity for trade. Exactly what we see happening. With one of the rifles now removed, it's going to be much harder for the compLexity to beat back this push from eUnited. Outside control, they start to split in towards A. Catch one at the vents. There's Obo down, a second onto Sick, and this is not looking too good. Although Vanity lit down solo, has got control of the bomb site and might be able to get a bomb plant in. The problem is, as soon as he taps it, they would just be rushing up, and he only knows one player is towards heaven.
Solo on HP though, it's gonna be a very difficult one. Should at least be able to get that bomb down. Here's the drop, I believe, of both players also, but as they push in together, there's not really much that can be done. Single bullet, all that was needed. An easy finish comes through, and of course, more than enough time for that defuse to be found. So, upgrades coming through. AK and a Krieg now being carried over by compLexity into this next round, and they managed to make that pretty weak buy overall work in their favor. And of course, it leaves the eUnited in a pretty tough position. Even with that bomb plank going down, they actually only have enough to fully invest into 2 of their players. Food, Cooper, and also Marky all looking at an eco, so you'd imagine maybe just some pistols to be upgraded in this round. Vanity, he does indeed do so. A couple flashes as well coming out, some Kevlar. Moose gets a dig and full Kevlar as well for himself. So there's a chance for them to try and get a few kills once again. But on paper, this should be compLexity looking at a quick 4-1 start here for themselves on Nuke.
Building up that momentum on the CT side is what they need to be doing right now. eUnited with just those pistols decide to throw a couple of smokes towards outside, rob any information from the hands of the CTs, just make it much more difficult for compLexity to kind of figure out whether this is going to be a hit down secret or a straight push towards the A side. It's A that's going to be the main target. Obo finds that out and vertically fighting, not easy to do, picks up 2 and bails out of there, letting his teammates sweep up the rest, or not, as he goes in for Marky. The M4 proves to be a suitable weapon up against those weaker buys, as it goes over 4-1 as predicted. Now eUnited have got the chance though. They can get themselves full armor alongside AKs and utility, and the world's their oyster with this kind of buy. But it is getting to pretty late stages. We need to see them start to get something on the board pretty soon.
Yeah, this is also their map choice as well, so ideally we want to see a bit more from them, but still relatively early days. That Molotov, not really as it was intended though for Vanity. He does still make it down into the vent, fortunately. Doesn't have the bomb though with him, so we'll be just looking to see what he can find, maybe be a bit of a nuisance. And he manages to actually take down Ricky, who had rotated straight down the ramp after the info was called that Vanity had actually made it down the vent. So that's a really nice find indeed, and it seems like they're willing to just go ahead, they're willing to just go ahead and actually slow things down now and wait for compLexity to try and make a mistake, try and push forward somewhere and give them the opportunity to extend that advantage even further. And it looks like that will be towards outside. Sick actually going to be able to find one, combines with Obo as well. Eventually Marky gets the trade, but they've gone ahead and at least pulled back a couple of frags.
With Obo falling as well, the man advantage goes into play for the terrorist side. Smoke at the cross, but the second smoke's about to fade. You have to be careful pushing down. Luckily no one's there. Watching outside, it's the flank instead from Def that's being attempted, as he'll come up behind them. All Shazam has to do is slow them down as much as he physically can. As they attempt to walk out the door, the spam is so good. Moose and Vanity both blow headshot onto Marky, and this gives Def a great chance. He's retrieved an M4 instead of a UMP. And inching forward, door going to be closed. He knows now there's one towards single. I think he thinks the guy's gone into single though, so might not suspect them up behind the bomb site. Smoke down a little deep as well. He's clearly visible towards Vanity. Not checking his right. The flashbang doesn't quite catch Van, so he's able to take the kill and swing it over 4-2. Another round for the terrorist side on the board, as they're starting to look a little bit better. And like you said, it's still early days, so seeing them come through with that is pretty decent.
Picking up that second. Doing so with 2 players alive as well. It does allow for them to reinvest into a pretty solid buy into this round. Of course, some damage had been done in the previous to compLexity, so although they are able to buy out again, it's not perfect. I mean, they only have the one defuse kit, very limited on utility with the round having just begun, and it seems like eUnited may recognize that because they're going to go ahead and take up the pace. Vanity opens up the A-bomb site, actually assisted by Marky for the second. But either way, it's suddenly a 5-on-2 favoring eUnited, and it seems like Shazam and Ricky probably don't really even want to attempt this retake. Backing off already, an Op and an Og to carry over into this following round where they won't really be able to buy anything at all. And a potentially flawless round here from eUnited. All 5 players alive right now having not even taken a single point of damage.
Yeah, such a strong round. Even losing food, it's not the worst thing that could possibly happen to the T side, as they're still looking pretty stacked. You're going to see them bail out towards the T-spawn to save those weapons over, as the money is just going to build up so much for them now. compLexity at least carry forward the Op and the Og, but I don't know how strongly I'd feel about the buy that they're going to have alongside it. Realistically, they shouldn't be forced buying here, which would allow eUnited to bring it up to 4-4, unless you see some insane impact from the AWP. They're able to drop over a P250 as well. I think Shazam's got one in play. He doesn't want to. He's just going to keep that.
I think that might be a P2000.
Is it?
I believe so. It doesn't have the little notch like the P250 does, but I could be wrong. Moose, though, already going to be able to open things up. That's actually one of the saved weapons, unfortunately, being dropped over. Will be picked up by Def at least, but he doesn't have Kevlar, unfortunately. So even with that rifle, rather, aim punch still could be a factor. But there we go. Shazam pushed up alongside a teammate in towards ramp room. They will actually be able to pull one back. That's an AK dropped that I don't think eUnited can really afford to try and stick around and hold. Vanity will attempt to do so, but apparently really, really long arms on that player does actually allow for Sick to pick up the AK.
Mr. Stretch. They're straight pushing towards A now. AWP Shazam's going to get a couple opportunities as he picks up one. Into a 3 versus 3 bomb plant should be easily secured. They're going for heaven with the Molotov off. Although the mollies do dissipate, it's only a 1-second window for them to peek, and it was being covered as well. With Sick taking down food, though, this gets a little bit better for compLexity, closing in their distance towards the bomb site. Cooper still conscious of heaven. Marky playing a little bit further back. He starts to close the distance to the bomb site to try and help out his teammate. Takes Shazam out. Just making a little bit more noise, so Cooper could try to take a peek, but it doesn't quite work out for him. As he goes down, now you're into a 1v2. The bomb ticking away. Marky fakes the run out towards single. Or Squeaky, and the defuse is going to be stuck here. I don't think Marky can even get to him in time. No, he can't, especially not with Sick watching the cross.
Yeah, and a defuse kit, of course, as well, was available for Def, so just 5 seconds, all that was needed. 5-3, compLexity able to actually pull out a round there that really shouldn't have been theirs. It didn't start off very well either. Just a good job on the retake. I mean, once they got that AK as well in the lobby, it looked pretty solid. It was a 3-on-4 where they actually had some weaponry, and considering they started the round with less weaponry than they had at that point, it wasn't too bad. But once the bomb went down, that's where I kind of begun to think that eUnited should have this, and they just weren't able to hold it. 5-3, the pause, of course, coming true for eUnited. They are going to be discussing what they want to do exactly into this round. They, of course, have enough to get that full buyout. Food already with the AK, the rest of the players around 5,000, if not above. So an op also, if wanted, should be available. It would have to be dropped over, though, of course, unless Cooper was willing to actually take the glass cannon.
And where this buy is going is the real question of the round as to whether or not we're going to see that AWP.
It doesn't seem like it. I mean, it still could happen. The thing is, though, Cooper, I believe, spent quite a lot of money because he dropped over one of those AKs. So it seems like they may just be deciding against going for the op. Understandable, though. He's got a nuke. It's not necessary.
For sure. Moose could have taken it out without the util, obviously, but yeah, it would have made more sense for Cooper to drop it over. And then everybody be happy as Larry with util to play with. They decide to go for those AKs, like you said. You get the SG, the Cream coming in on Marky. And so it's going to be just a standard rifle round coming out from eUnited. No scopes to back them up, but Shazam still maintaining that AWP over into this. Obo's not got any head armor, but that shouldn't really matter up against the weapons that he's currently facing. AKs will rip your head off with or without that helmet. And compLexity playing quite slow. They have no information to work with at the moment. Def just caught very close up towards the vents. As the smoke dissipates, he picks up 2. Swinging in towards the door. I mean, there were 3 of them there. I thought he was dead for sure, and he was, but managing to pick up that 1 extra kill puts his team well ahead into the round. Shazam again trying to get something from heaven, but it's not going to land. As they go down the vents, the rotation towards B is going to have to come through. Ricky's able to pick up 1. Sick was thinking about going down the vents, but decides against it. As the long-range fights on ramp proved to go the way of the CT side early on. Ricky's still trying to force the issue. With the bomb down, I mean, really, they're just trying to stop them from being able to plant that safely, but as soon as they pick that up, it's going to be plopped down for a single door, and there'll be nothing they can do about it. Actual fact, look at the aggressive position taken by Moose right now.
Yeah, they want to try and force the issue before they plant that bomb to actually make it winnable. The issue is, as Marky tries to take the fight, he goes down, and now Moose left all alone. Catches 1 on ramp. Knows the op is still up close, of course, but now he has to worry about that flank from the bomb site, and there it is. Obo able to come in from behind and finish it off. 2 frags at least been found in the end there for Moose, so a bit of extra damage being put through, but compLexity in the end will be able to take that round win and extend their lead up 6-3. And of course, off the back of it as well, you see eUnited now are going to be forced onto an eco. Upgraded pistol's going to be allowed at least, a deagle for Vanity. Moose could have got something as well, but it looks like he wants to save to try and get the op out into that next round instead. So it is just that 1 upgraded deagle for them to try and actually get anything at all done with. So this is a good opportunity for compLexity to take a clean round, which they do very much need. Of course, considering they're left down to around 300 and also 0 on Obo, they certainly need to start building up a little bit of money so that they can actually stabilize here on the CT side.
I think you're going to see a very fast push towards the A site coming through in just a couple seconds. Already spamming through the door to try and get a little bit of information through the hole that was made. Ricky picks up 1. Vanity goes... I mean, with Vanity falling and then the push kind of staggered a little bit, Marky on outside not splitting in, you don't really expect them to see too much of a reward. Bombs dropped out in the open on the site. They've still got Ricky watching ramp as the push comes through, and that didn't really feel like a well-coordinated eco push, but they look for the kills all around the place, not able to find them, and so it's 7-3. It's not a terrible scoreline. You're still early days for the T side. If they can manage to get this full buy on the board, at least they'll be 1 step closer to victory. But the problem for them right now is the compLexity have got a little bit of cash built up, so they've got a 1-round buffer. If they lose, for example, this buy round here, they'll still be able to get another set of rifles out alongside an AWP. So the road certainly gets a little bit more perilous now for eUnited.
Definitely good. They're again looking to maybe try and get that quick A split in, which was something that worked out for them successfully earlier on. Unfortunately, though, this time that ramp aggression and also the lobby aggression works out perfectly from compLexity to actually counteract that outer control that they've lost to begin the round. So that is just a great play. It pulls back info and also a 2-man advantage. Shazam also ready on this op is gifted the frag from Arky, who attempted to bait the shot out, but unfortunately just showed a little bit too much of himself.
So now it's left down to 2. And what are they aiming for? They've got a little bit of control coming in towards A. They were conscious of a push having come through either squeaky or up ramp. As they eventually maintain this, or regain this control even, they're going to look to push out towards the A site. It's not going to be an easy one at all. Def is even watching single door above this smoke, so Cooper's not going to be in for all too nice of a time. The push comes in from Def, actually getting very aggressive up close, but Cooper was ready for it. Not even conscious of the player pushing up close. I think he was more so just spamming through the smoke, so his crosshair was already kind of trained in on that angle. And as Def just peeked it, it was an easy kill to find. But still 8-3, only losing 1 player. We already talked about compLexity's current economic situation, and it's only gotten a whole lot worse, as there's so much cash now built up on the CT side, that if eUnited find a buy round, and one afterwards, there'll still be a little bit of money there for compLexity to scrape together a buy. And T-side with only 3 on the board, kind of late on as well, considering the fact that they're most likely going to be down 9-3 with this eco coming through.
Yeah, most likely. There's always the opportunity, though. After all, it is Counter-Strike. We've seen much crazier things, but I guess Sick is going to go ahead and ensure that this isn't one of those rounds, because it's some great spray control to actually stop those players from making it down secret. 3 of them instantly fallen, and with that now it's all left on the Vanity. 1 versus 5 is a deagle. That is it. Tries to creep up the vent, but unfortunately gets spotted by Obo, who turns around just in time. So A perfectly clean round coming through from compLexity. All 5 players surviving, and with the economy that they have available for themselves now, they're pretty much safe to buy for the remainder of this half. So it's going to be a tough one for eUnited. They need to start racking up these gun rounds.
Yeah, it's a big problem now. eUnited need to come through with dominant victories up against rifles on a consistent basis. Really, they need to find themselves around 5, and it's not looking too likely. With only 3 left to play for, and their win rates and buy rounds being less than great. I think they'll be lucky to walk away with 4. What a shot by Marky. Tapping away at Deft. That's a nice opening kill to be found by the T side. With Shazam and Sick down low as well, this could be the round that brings them back into contention. They're angling towards outside, and they've got plenty of control. Shazam's about to be countered on the AWP as the smokes go down. They've learned from their mistakes previously, allowing Shazam to catch those angles as they shoulder peeked. Sick is going to have a really nice nade, though. Lands so much damage. Food and Moose slit down to around 60. And then he comes down to drop a Molotov as well, keeping them back, trapped in towards Secret. The man advantage to play with, but the information's not really in there. Cork, right peek by Sick, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah, too many players from the deal with once he peeked out, of course. Food was willing to shoot through a teammate. It was just a casualty of war. 5-on-3 now in play, but of course there's still the fact rather that a lot of those players on eUnited, pretty much all of them rather, have been tagged down somewhat. Marky looking the healthiest, and he is going to try and lead the way on the Skrig right now. The smokes down should at least give them that bomb plant. And now being left in the 3-on-5 retake, compLexity, I mean, they have money to reinvest into this next round, so they could potentially go for it, but also the safer approach probably would just be to go ahead and carry over these weapons into the next round. Seems like they are going to do so as well, so backing off, potentially the smarter of the decisions. They could also, I guess, try and get a couple of exit frags to somewhat actually damage the buy in this next round for eUnited.
Yeah, I think this is one of the occasions where I'm actually happy to see exit frags being sought after. It benefits you to find a kill more than it benefits the T side. And there we go. Ricky just runs straight down. A ballsy play, but he manages to take a rifle out of the hands of Moose, forcing them to force up a little bit into this round.
Moose had no idea. The second he turned his crosser, he got peeked. He was probably so mad.
Well, I mean, there was like a second left. You're not anticipating that kind of a peek.
Especially not so close to the bomb. You didn't think the players would stick around, but it happened. Of course, 4 rounds now on the board for eUnited, though. If they can bring it up to even 5, I mean, that's certainly a decent position for them. They definitely have a chance then to try and recover on the CT side, especially considering this is their map choice, but that is still going to be tough because we do see Ricky already dropping food. He was hungry, takes himself a quick headshot over towards the ramp and just falls back off. He's had enough for now.
With a man advantage now, compLexity have got control of outside as well, with Def securing A for them, essentially. They have to drop a smoke on him if they want to have any chance of making it towards A through outside. He hears them going down as well, got all the info to play with, transfers that over to his teammates who are now ready. As Ricky goes down, Shazam's here with the AWP. He's not going to catch Moose, though, as the head is found. Shazam goes down, and it's into a man advantage now for the terrorist side to work with. They've also got the bomb planned. Vanity gets timing to high heaven, but Def still falls, unable to win out the duel, leaving it into a 2v4 with low HP on Vanity. But compLexity, there's no way they save here. They've got to go for it. They've so much money for the next round.
Yeah, if they didn't, it'd be strange. They have plenty to reinvest, of course, but it's still just going to be so difficult. They do manage to catch Moose off guard up close, though, trying to take the peek in towards single door as well. Good damage being done on towards Vanity. As now it becomes a little bit more winnable. Issue is you can hear how quick that bomb is ticking away right now. They pretty much need someone to hop on that within the next couple of seconds, and you can see that Sick is going to attempt it, but I don't even think he actually bothered. In the end, did just decide to run away, which is understandable. Saving over that AK, which is a weapon, of course, that cannot be purchased up on the CT side and can be very handy indeed for actually holding down those bomb sites. But there we go, a 5th round for eUnited, and that's after compLexity even finding the opening advantage into that round off the back of the frag over towards the ramp room.
Now 9-5. Look, eUnited do a lot better towards these last couple buy rounds than I would have expected. And coming into the final, they've definitely got the chance. The double op setup comes out. Ricky and Shazam taking those scopes. They've got plenty of cash to spend, obviously, so they just dish it all out where they can. eUmuth gets lit down a little bit by the nades. So too does eUvanity. I think that's what they really want to be called. Shazam, interestingly enough, gets that kill with the deagle up close. He was just kind of walking towards vents and stumbled upon a terrorist, as you do.
Just out in the wild. He was all alone. Poor thing didn't know it was coming. But yeah, again, the advantage does go in favor of compLexity, but we seen that in the last round, and we did witness eUnited being able to recover it, of course, as they've been having a good bit of success over towards that B bomb site so far. Again, looking to try and creep in down secret. There is the op, though, of Shazam waiting for this one. Looking to try and find a quick frag and then fall back off onto a new angle. Will it be the case, though, is the question, because he's going to have a few players to deal with. There we go. Takes down Vanity and is allowed to fall back off for the moment. We see one trade coming in from Marky towards the upper areas, so that does seem to influence him to try and commit towards the A-bomb site instead. But Obo, he's been a monster so far, and again, playing around that smoke gets one to just delay.
And delaying's all they need to do with 25 seconds left on the clock. Peek goes out from Ricky, and he manages to land it. Cooper, luckily, not looking towards that position. Food's coming up behind, but it might be too little too late. 15 seconds on the clock and a big play to be made. He's managed to catch out Sig, but Ricky's right below him, and the pistol's not going to fake flash at all, as he easily finds that kill. It'd be interesting if you got hit by a falling pistol, you got, like, flashbanged, per se. You get concussion for a minute. That'd be pretty good.
Your teammate's like, why aren't you helping me? And you're like, my player is concussed.
He just got hit in the face by a pistol from, like, I saw it 10 meters. That's gotta hurt.
This isn't that type of game.
Yeah, we talked about that before, right? If you, like, shoot a cone and it hits you in the head.
Did we? I don't remember this one.
I think it was like Vertigo. Something was flying around the place.
Yeah, I don't know. That might not have been with me, but either way, I don't think that'd be a mechanic that would really work in a game like Counter-Strike, Mitch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Neither do I, but sure, why not? Look, at the end of the day, if it's viable to put a revolver into the game that one-shots people while jumping, well,
that was never viable. But
the devs thought it was.
I mean, 10-5 at the halftime. It's not the end of the world for eUnited. There's still the opportunity for them to try and pull it back here on the second half. But of course, it kind of goes without saying that that pistol is going to be extremely important for them to actually try and build their way into this game before it gets too out of hand.
Yeah, it's time to start building up rounds for eUnited, and if they don't do it here on the pistol round, things could get very scary. compLexity come in with utility on def off the bat, and Ricky decides to take himself 2 flashbangs alongside the P250. He dropped over to Shazam to raid boss him a little bit. It's going to be a much more difficult opponent to take down. A little bit more range to work with than the Glock. Much more damage. Starting to push towards ramp early on. Nade deployed by Vanity isn't going to catch a whole lot of action. And a passive stance has to be taken by Food here. He's got no armor, so going out for that fight is very, very difficult.
Yeah, making their way back from ramp now, actually, as they prepare instead to just try and go on towards A. Marky up on top of the bomb site. There is also a player on the bomb site itself and then one in heaven, so a pretty solid setup here for the CT side to try and hold it down. Cooper able to get himself a second before he eventually falls, as now it's left in an equal 3-on-3. Defto with the Glock up close around that smoke makes it work for a frag towards Vanity and is even able to stay alive as his teammates then drop Food trying to work in from heaven. It's all onto Moose. And he is certainly being stared down by some headlights right now because there's 3 players all focused on his position. It is known, steps out, and it's only Sick that's needed to go ahead and close the round out. That is going to be compLexity picking up that second pistol round and extending their lead now as they take an 11-5 scoreline. It does seem like the force buy is going to come out from eUnited, but if it doesn't work, then we'll likely see a 13-5 lead for compLexity before the actual buy will be available.
The double scout setup is one that we see quite a lot in round number 2 after you lose the pistol. Or not even necessarily the double scout, but even just one alongside pistols. Gives you a lot of opportunity if you've not seen this before. Obviously the scout's going to light you down to about 30 HP, and then one of those Deegs can come in and just one-shot you. CZ can be pretty dangerous on the back of it as well. The angles you're going to be using, I imagine we're probably going to see outside and ramp. Oh, actually, both moving towards outside early on. Curious. So Food's going for the standard hold on outside. Nade goes down from Cooper, and then he's just going to bail back. Presumably go into heaven. They've got aggressive control towards ramp. The smoke's already down. Vanity was spamming through it. And he baited out a couple of shots, so he knows there's at least players around this area, but that doesn't really do a whole lot for you. Within the first 30 seconds or so, you expect at least someone to be towards ramp. If no one had a shot back, he might have thought about pushing through the smoke, getting aggressive. Nice shot by Cooper. That's a headshot onto Ricky straight away. He's Molotov'd out, though, so he won't be able to do a whole lot to support Vanity. Vanity knows that and decides to bail down the ramp and play on the side itself. Now, this gives a lot of control over towards the T side, potentially, certainly in terms of information, as they could potentially start to push towards hell. Cooper was holding that, though, and spots out nobody there. So something starts to feel a little bit wrong about this being a ramp or a heaven split. And they start to rotate over towards heaven to help out Marky, who picks up 2, in fact, with the CZ.
Yeah, now it's all onto Shazam. Brings it down to the 1-on-2, but still up against Cooper and Heaven on that scout. This could certainly still be dangerous. At least gets an upgrade to an AK. But 40 seconds remaining. Gonna have to make a move soon. Does try and go down the vent, and unfortunately, Vanity with that deagle was waiting for him and manages to actually survive on a single point of HP. Even spams away at the dead body there for added BM. And that is eUnited actually successfully pulling off that force buy. They went in with 2 scouts and some deagles. They managed to come out with a couple of AKs and a round win. That is something they're going to be certainly happy with, as compLexity now are the ones that are actually facing an eco. And it looks like they're willing to take it. They've only bought 1 deagle up. That's going to be it. $1,900 in the next round. I mean, even with that, their buy isn't going to be great.
Yeah, playing such a weak economy round is unusual. Usually teams decide to go for the force buy at this stage, but it's not working out too well for them either. The Glock's up close. Ricky's tapping away here, but runs straight into the spray and Moose. It's already picked up 3. I mean, he's just going for the ace now with the USP, and he finds it. Nice and easy. Eco aces, the staple of an amazing player. Moose throws himself up there. Top fragging now on his team with 12 on the board. So it's 11-7, right? All jokes aside, this is compLexity's opportunity to make smart choices. And they do so. Like you said, their loss bonus wasn't great. $1,900. They didn't want a full buy up here. It would be quite weak. So instead they take the pistols alongside the armor and small amounts of utility. Smokes deployed towards outside, and they'll fast rush down secret. This has given them a pretty decent shot at the round. Oh, not even going down secret. They're feigning that information. Instead, taking outside control, but it's been spotted by Cooper.
Yeah, who takes himself a very quick headshot off the back of that AK. So a man advantage also now being put in favor of eUnited. They did actually put Obo down into secret eventually, but for the moment he is the only player working from this position. Catches Moose getting aggressive and manages to retrieve now a FAMAS for them to work with. Unfortunately, not quite one of those AKs, but it is still certainly a pretty solid weapon that could give them a slightly better opportunity here in this round. Where are they going to bring it in the end, though, is the question, because they do still have well over a minute remaining, so they aren't really too pressured to actually commit straight down towards this B bomb site. You can see the bomb actually coming back up and out through secret on the back of Def, assisted by Shazam as they set up for what looks like it is going to be an A-split. The issue is Vanity and Marky have a great setup to just hold this down with a crossfire.
And Obo swinging on it, takes down Food. Okay, with the other kill coming through from Shazam, this could be a very salvageable round here for compLexity, but the bomb goes down. The timing is so bad there for the T side. As you're into a 2v2, complete control of B, but that doesn't matter at all. As the T's are forced into pushing A, but hold on, Obo actually manages to pick up one more. He's got the AK out and the spray down. It's not there. He's out of bullets. Switches over to the Deagle. 18 HP left on Marky. The shot's not landing. Both players are so low. The Deagle is the one to win it out, though. Obo with 5 HP pulls it off, and a 4K in the round. compLexity have got the money to play with now. And a round that was just back and forth, but ultimately relied on that huge play made from Obo. That man is having one hell of a game. 25 kills on the board.
Yeah, I was worried when he ran out of bullets there, Mitch. I thought it was all over, but it seemed like his opponent also running low on bullets, and it just became a very awkward fight in the end. But, of course, taking it 12-17 in favor of compLexity. They return it with a force buy of their own. And even then, it wasn't the full investment, of course. They did only go for the pistols and Kevlar. So a tough round right there for eUnited to stomach losing. You can see they will buy up into this one, but it's not going to be amazing. It should be okay. I mean, they have the up. They have 2 M4s already. Should be able to get another rifle, potentially a secondary up on the Moose. He does just go for the M4 in the end, which is understandable considering they were already quite limited on utility. So it's certainly around that eUnited can make work. The issue is, if they don't make this one work, then compLexity likely at that point going to be taking themselves a 14-7 lead before the full gun round will actually be available once again for eUnited. So it goes without saying that this is an extremely important round right now for eUnited to try and make this a winnable map.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen here and now, compLexity will be on the home stretch. AWP in play for Cooper. Where's he sitting with that? He's watching outside, maintaining a lot of control. Smoke started to go down, though. So compLexity going to start robbing them of information. That Molotov in secret's super important. It stops the player from peeking up and spotting that they're no longer on outside, as you can already see them starting to back on off. So it means there's an extra couple seconds before Moose gets up there, and now he's kind of thinking he doesn't really want to, right? You've waited so long, they could be all over long. As soon as you peek up 2-3 different angles, they could all be watching you. So he's now forced down into playing more passive. They don't have information on outside. Flashes going down. It's just going to be a straight-up push. With the smokes in, they should now suspect there's nobody on outside, and they've just double-smoked main. So it would be quite unusual to smoke it and then decide to push outside as well. The kills go down, and it's trades early on, but lots of damage done towards Obo. Now sitting on 10 HP. That hasn't stopped him before. The Molotov could, although Cooper decides to with the AWP instead. You're down to a 4v3, low HP on 2 players on the T side, but they've made progress down towards B, and I believe the bomb is with them. Yes, it is. So a bomb plant now secured as well.
Yeah, the only issue is with both players being so low, it's going to be very tough for them to actually try and hold down this after plant now. As long as eUnited try and work together on it, as long as they set themselves up for the trades, then it's going to be tough. Defto up close in a good position to catch one off guard. Peeks out for the second on the food before eventually falling, but he gives the chance to Ricky, who unfortunately does not expect Moose to be coming in from secret. So plenty of time for that defuse, as Vanity is going to be able to go ahead and pick that one up. Krieg even been dropped over to him. He picks that up too, as the op is retrieved by Moose. 8 rounds now on the board for eUnited, 4 in the difference, and even with that bomb going down for compLexity, they probably aren't going to buy into this round. 3 players looking at an eco, so again, I'd imagine some pistols maybe to be upgraded. Maybe Shazam can even pull out an AK, or just go straight onto the op. I mean, that works too. Probably the only weapon they're going to upgrade in this round, though, because I'd imagine the rest of them do eco. Just a bit of a hero play here from Shazam, potentially.
It was such an important round for eUnited, and with it connected, I mean, the sky's the limit. Although 16 is really the limit, or 15, depending on what happens. compLexity are angling towards some outside control early on. They've already pushed up quite a bit, and they've just got Shazam posted on the AWP, trying to find some openings with it. This makes sense, right? You're going to allow Shazam to try and find opening contact. If he dies, someone else picks up the op. He's got the angle here, swinging around. Only catches the back of Cooper. I think through the wall as well, so unable to find the kill. The other thing is, I don't know if they've spotted this hold that you've seen from Moose. Now, Def was doing the same thing, so I'd be surprised if they're not at least conscious of this position, but on a round like this, they're very tunnel-visioned. They're focusing more towards the AWP that they spotted out before, but they managed to one-for-one trade him. As Shazam comes in on the AWP with that, Cooper's still posted up, waiting for Shazam to peek, and he doesn't hit him through a wall. Just a straight shot into the arm and chest. As Shazam falls, it's now a 2v4. They want at least one more kill here on the T side.
Food holding this angle. Has a good position to shut down Obo before he can really get much done, and also Cooper coming through there with the op to go ahead and finish off Ricky. So unfortunately that op that Shazam invested into didn't really give them too much apart from a single frag. You can see now, even though the rest of his teammates are buying, he's going to be down on $2,000. And the utility as well for the rest of the players is going to be quite limited. Ideally, I think you wanted Shazam in this round to have that up to assist those rifles to actually be able to try and open up the round. Instead now it's going to be again a little bit of a mismatched buy. And of course, if this one doesn't go in their favor, then eUnited are going to be pulling it back up into a very close position.
Well, they've definitely got a shot at it. compLexity with the pause. I mean, Shazam bought down to 0 on the AWP last round, so he's got the choice to make now. What does he play with? Is it going to be a pistol, a Mac-10? Where are we taking things? A glass cannon scout, perhaps? Probably not. Hopefully not. As time ticks away, there's the armor, so presumably we're going to see... Oh, okay, just a P250. He actually goes more towards the support role, which makes sense. You've got your AKs in play. Early on, throwing a smoke on outside. Again, we're probably going to see the same molly being thrown. No information play to be made towards the secret players. Oh, okay, we're saving the Molotov. We're going to drop it down towards the A site, where Vanity could be in a little bit of an awkward spot. Doesn't matter, he's already dead. They're just killing everybody. Screw the utility. You're into a 2 versus 2. Shazam's going to be able to retrieve one of those weapons as the bomb plant goes down, pushing around. Cooper's being spotted with an AWP. Now drop down to the site, but Food's able to pick the kill. It's all onto Shazam, and he's not able to come through with it. And with a defuse now, eUnited will claim themselves a 12-10 scoreline.
Only 2 in the difference now, and that should be brought up to within just 1, because as I said, compLexity now looking at another eco, even with that bomb going down. It was a relatively close round, and overall the economy of eUnited hasn't been allowed to actually get completely out of hand, especially after this reinvestment has come true. You can see only really one player having enough to get a full buy if they were to lose a round. Although Moose and Marky may be able to scrape one together as well, but ideally for eUnited, they want to start taking these rounds a little bit cleaner now while they have the chance. This one is definitely where they can do so. Keeping all 5 alive would put them in a pretty great position. Let's see though, Cooper on this op, he's been having a good time so far, controlling outside, and once again kicks it off with that op to go ahead and open up towards Def.
As we started off with the kill onto Def, I think compLexity need to focus their attention more towards grouping up and trying to take those fights as a team. Shazam is pushing outside alone, but the bomb is starting to rotate over to him with Oboe here. Trade's not possible though, and 1-for-1 duels like this, it makes it kind of easy for eUnited. That position was good from Ricky, his head peeking it, but not able to come out on top. It just makes it much harder for them to get that gun kick into you. And there's Oboe coming through with 1 as he picks up the op, though. Oh, the movement actually pays off. Moose takes a little bit longer to take him down. And I was starting to visualize Oboe landing and hitting a quick op shot. That could have been beautiful. But no, it's 12-11. 1 kill on the board. It's not too consequential. Not at this stage, anyways. eUnited have a little bit of cash for the next round if they lose this one. So it's on compLexity now to amp up their performance, as they've got this 1 shot, or else eUnited will almost definitely be retaking the lead.
Yeah, eUnited, they're definitely looking a lot stronger here on the CT side so far. As we said, we would probably expect from them here on their own map choice. Will they be able to keep this up, though, is the question. The double up setup so far has been doing quite well for them. As early on into this round, compLexity just going to be going for that outside control. They leave Ricky in the lobby to kind of lurk and see if he can maybe cut off a rotation, but he's not really being quiet about it, so he is still actually pressuring somewhat towards this A bomb site. I guess also trying to be a bit of a distraction. The issue is Cooper already rotated down, connects that shot onto Sick and takes him down low, but they will actually be able to go ahead and pass and try and actually push their way onto this B bomb site. Now the issue is that secondary op, as we said, also still in play, will end up dropping 1 over towards ramp.
Cooper at least goes down. So now you're all just looking towards Food. They know that he's towards ramp as well with the AWP in hand. Shazam's waiting for a peek to come through. Def in the vent starts to get aggressive and takes down Marky. But Oboe falls for it. And they've only got Shazam towards the window and Def in vent. With the bomb dropped out clean in the open. I think Food's even got an angle onto it. He's got to be cautious with the double doors closed and nobody really in a position to shut it down if they do decide to push through there. Vanity relocates. Now Food can hold a bit of a wider angle, but Def manages to swing through with 1 from the single door before dying. Food's looking to swing out on Shazam now and take him down. There it is. Moose actually finds the kill, but Food was swinging out as well, so even if we saw Shazam finding the opening duel there in the 1v2, unless Food whiffed the op shot, it would have been all over. And so 12-12, we're tied up. eUnited with the CT side advantage. I've got a decent shot at closing this out, but the thing to remember is the compLexity now on the terrorist side. They've played a lot of buy rounds out, so they may start to get a read on how the CTs are playing. If they start to get their book penciled in, then things could get a little bit awkward for the CTs. They're only just now starting to build up momentum.
Yeah, Def does end up actually opening up in this round, though, so that is a advantage for one of the first times, I believe, here on this D side, at least in quite a while, that has gone in their favor. And decent find indeed. The rotation actually yet to come down towards B. Also, it'll only now begin to come down into the ramp, so a good bit of ground actually being covered here by compLexity for pretty much free. They do also have some utility to work with. The only issue is no smoke to put down to allow for an easier plant to come through, so they will have to go ahead and take these fights, which do go in their favor. Marky up towards A returns 1, but it's still a man advantage in play for compLexity for the moment.
Well, Dean, I might have messed up there.
What?
Went to get my water and may have hit off space, opening up the large map for the majority of that round.
Are you serious?
I can only apologize. I mean, you could kind of see what was happening. You could see people shooting like from the edge of the screen. But anyways, let's ignore it.
It was a pretty important round, though, Mitch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know. I mean, hydration's pretty important too. So next
Not
time
yours, we could have done without you, Mitch.
we'll try not to hit the keyboard next time. This is why I'm not a professional observer. With 13 to 12, complexity coming through at that round, and we all know exactly how. So let's forget about it. Here come the cam tours in chat.
I mean, you can take all the blame for that because that.
Oh, I will. That's why I figured I'd say it. Oh no, wait. We usually make up an observer. Jeff. Yeah, it was Jeff's fault.
To move your mic away now and just scream at him. You have to give out to him.
God damn it, Jeff! What have I told you? Sorry, Jeff's not allowed to have water anymore.
Yeah, 13 to 12 though. Complexity, they do finally pick up another round. Will they be able to find any more, though, is the question, because they do still have to go through another bye here from eUnited. If they win this one, though, then eUnited are in a very difficult position, because they only got 1,400, I believe, coming into this round. Should be getting the 1,900 then the next round, which, of course, wouldn't really be enough for them to buy, so they'd likely have to eco and give over map point to complexity. The way we say water is being insulted.
God damn it. This is an important round, so let's just open the map. So Smoke's going out towards outside to try and rob away a little bit of information, but look at this position from Cooper. He's already pushed all the way up there with the AWP in hand, meaning that there's going to be no fakes and that utility is expended for naught. If anything, it gives United a better idea, because with the smokes going down, they know that that was an attempted fake by complexity, which means they're going to be heading somewhere else. Coming down the ramps, the Molotov luckily does cut off. I think it's Moose who was trying to get there, but Food's been on... Okay, Food was undetected, but Shazam somehow manages to turn around and take him down as he was whiffing the spray. Marky does a little bit of damage through the smoke, but failing to find that kill. They have no idea that there's going to be a flanker coming down behind them in just a matter of seconds. Def, just a matter of seconds. There we go. Moose eventually going to be dropped. Now he can start making his way down vents. They've got to go fast. They know someone can be coming behind them at any second.
Oh, coming down the vent though, Def, no idea that Vanity was actually waiting for that one, so does end up getting dropped sick now, trapped in the back of the bomb site, only able to find one before he does go down to Cooper. And even if he didn't go down to Cooper, of course, there was still Vanity coming in from that single door, so a very quick and efficient retake indeed from eUnited. There plenty of time for that defuse, even without the kit being available for Vanity. As we see again, the scoreline being equalized, it's just back and forth continuously, and of course right now, it would on paper favor complexity. But eUnited haven't come out on top of that round, though. Rather, they're in a good spot now where they can potentially force complexity down to the eco. Really, it just goes both ways right now. That's the issue. Whoever takes this one is likely to actually take themselves up the map point.
Yes, indeed, it's home stretch time. Complexity starting to make their way towards outside. Cooper not getting quite as aggressive, but instead it's going to be Moose locked in up close as Cooper finds one. The AWP watching it from that angle doesn't really construe this kind of hold from Moose, who's so far undetected. Creeping around, Cooper finds another. This means Moose, I mean, he's got all the info to play with. Knows there's one going on secret, knows Shazam's there. Comes around on the flank, and hey Shazam, and bye Shazam. Kree going to be picked up as well, and Def falls elsewhere. Just watch Moose that whole round just to catch that flank. I thought a whole lot more was going to come through, and it could have, but Cooper was hitting the shots with the AWP. Even still, very crucial position for Moose, because if things did go south, there's no way they expect him to be there. As you saw, Cooper's position just, it gives you the sense that there's only going to be him watching outside, and that's it. So they thought they were fairly safe to go down secret and chill out on outside a little bit longer, but evidently that was not correct. And again, just want to highlight the fact that, I don't remember the player, but whoever was up on top of main, had he not have died, had Cooper not have found that kill, Moose would have had to take that fight once the smoke dissipated, giving away his position. Then Shazam would have been aware, maybe would have found the kill. Def could have slowed things down then, and it would have been like a 2v4 situation that definitely could have been recoverable. So Cooper was very key in that round, putting down the long-range support.
Yeah, it does seem like eUnited right now, though, getting ever so close to that finish line. The full force spy coming through from complexity. It's a gamble, and if it doesn't work out, it could be the end of map number one. Ricky trying to do what he can to pull it back, gets two quick headshots. But the problem is he wasn't helped out by any of his teammates, so it's now left all to Def, trying to creep in through main, which he will do successfully. The only issue is he won't be able to take the fight up against Marky with any sort of success at all, rather. It's a tough word to say quickly, Mitch. 15 to 13, though. This is just an issue right now for compLexity. I mean, this is the map choice of eUnited. It's been a pretty close one. But as we head on to Mirage, that's not a terrible map for eUnited. So if they can come off the back of the victory here on Nuke, it's definitely possible for them to potentially take that 2-0.
Oh, for sure. I think this is the spot, though, that, as far as I remember... Yeah, okay, I'm just double-checking, just in case. So compLexity have only played this twice. They lost both times, 16-13 to Furia. That's fine, because Furia are pretty good at Nuke, but Vitality, 16-8, wasn't amazing. Oh, okay, Moose returns it on the stick at least to make it a little bit better. Vanity just getting hella aggressive, takes down Oboe, and this is not looking all too good. Dean, compLexity have 2 players left alive. It's a Ricky and Def in a 2v3 with low HP on Def as well.
Yeah, that Molotov going to stop him from being able to emerge from Secret anytime soon, unfortunately. So for now, Ricky going to have to be the one to retrieve that bomb. He's looking to do so. No one peeking actively. Cooper getting ever so close to doing so, though, as he creeps forward towards Garage. The op is ready. He actually misses the shot. Fortunately, doesn't end up going down, because if Ricky found that frag, then there was a good chance for him to try and recover the nade. May do so eventually. Actually, doesn't end up connected, though, so that should be the end of it. There we go, Moose. There to finish him off with the Krieg with the spam.